Right, I chose this article to read, What is a Cannonball? Because I am learning about how the weight of an object influences the force of motion. And I remember, it's kind of making me remember back to when I was little and going swimming with my cousins, and we would do cannonballs, and my cousins, who were bigger than me, were able to make a bigger splash than I was. So I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to learn about that in this website. So as I start to go through here, I'm kind of like just reading. Have you ever wondered what is a cannonball? How do you do a cannonball? And why does a cannonball make a big splash? That right there is going to answer the question that I'm kind of wondering about with what I'm learning in science. I notice here that there's some different vocabulary that I'm going to look at cannonball, displacement. I'm not really sure what that word means. Diving, games, physics. I'm not really sure about that word. Pool, swim, swimming, water, exercise, science, seasons, dive, lake, board, splash, technique. Show more. Okay, so I think I'm ready to start reading. I see that there's some wonder words over here. So as I'm reading this section, it says, instead we're taking a closer look at a signature move you'll see at pools all over the country during the summer. I'm not really sure what that means because I know that signature means when I sign my name. So I'm going to just check to see. Oops. So it's a distinctive pattern, product, or characteristic. All right, so I guess it's like a special kind of move that people might make. Okay, so as I'm reading here, this just kind of reminds me of going to the pool when I was a kid and with my family, and lots of different dives that people could do, and doing a cannonball. Cannonballs were the most fun. Right, so this shows me how to do a cannonball. So the goal is to hit the water with your body shaped as much like a sphere as possible. Wondering, why is that important? Why do we need to be in the shape of a sphere? Whoops. The more like a cannonball you are, the bigger your splash will be. Okay, so I know a cannonball is shaped like a sphere. So I'm still wondering, why is that important? So I'm going to go ahead and keep reading. If you've ever wondered why cannonballs make such big splashes, physics holds the answer. I'm not sure what physics is, so I'm going to press this. Oops. The science of matter and energy and their interactions. Okay, so that's kind of what we're learning right now in science. When your body, shaped like a cannonball, hits the water, it displaces a lot of water very quickly. So I'm remembering from my other science lesson that displaces means like pushes away. Displaces a lot of water very quickly. As you plunge into the water, I know that plunge means that you like go down into the water. Your body's moving force pushes the water away from all of the directions. Okay, so this is kind of making me think about like as you kind of go into the water, as you hit the water, and let's say that's the person, then water splashes all over. So I'm wondering then if the cannonball is bigger, does that mean that the splashes will be bigger? I have a feeling that it does. As you sink below the surface, your body makes an air cavity in the water. The cavity, I'm not sure what cavity is, so I'm going to double check that. It's a hole. Okay, so that makes sense. As I go into the water, then the cavity, and this is probably then what the cavity is going to be like, this part right here. In the water, the cavity is about the size of the object entering the water. Almost as soon as the cavity forms, pressure from the surrounding water causes the cavity to collapse inward. All of this happens in the blink of an eye. So I'm not sure I understood that. Almost as soon as the cavity forms, pressure from the surrounding water causes the cavity to collapse inward. Okay, so that's making sense. As the water continues to rush in to fill the cavity, some of it is pushed upward as the cavity is quickly filled. That is the huge splash that you see after a really good cannonball. Okay, whoops. I did not mean for that to happen. Scientists say that the key to a big splashes are the size of the object, the weight of the object, and the speed of impact. You can't do anything about your size, so focus on perfecting your form if you want to be the best cannonballer in the pool, at the pool this summer. Okay, so I'm going to go back and look at that again too. Scientists say that the key to the biggest splashes are the size of the object, the weight of the object, and the speed of the impact. So that makes sense about why my cousins who are bigger than me were able to make bigger splashes, because they were bigger, so that must mean that the cavity was kind of bigger, which made more water rush in, making more water push out. The higher you jump before hitting the water, the faster you'll be traveling when you hit the water. The tighter ball you form with your body, the more like a sphere you will be when you go kersploosh. As always, practice makes perfect, so get out there and splash on. Alright, so I'm thinking that this is key to my original question. Alright. Try it out. So I'm wondering what this is about. Try it out. We hope today's wonder of the day will make a big splash. Keep exploring. Okay, ready to get wet. So these things over here aren't really helping me answer my questions about what I had about science. So I'm going to go back up and see if there's anything else that I want to read about or check that I didn't understand. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . pressure. Okay. All right. Oops. Okay. All right. So those are the things that I think I've got my question answered. And that's all I am going to read on this page.